Hello, Sayla. It's Miss Amber. I wanted to read you guys a book tonight. If it's nighttime when you're watching this, or if it's daytime or maybe nap time, this is a really good book called The Sleeping Book with the little bear who goes to sleep when his parents tell him to. All right, guys, so we're going to read this one. It's called The Sleepy Book. This is The Sleepy Book by Margaret Wise Brown, illustrated by Garth Williams. All right. Here we go. Oh, the Whispering Rabbit. Once there was a sleepy little rabbit who began to yawn, and he yawned, and he yawned, and he yawned. He opened his little rabbit mouth when he yawned till you could see his white front teeth and his little round pink mouth, and he yawned until suddenly a bee flew into his mouth and he swallowed the bee. "Hoo, hoo," said a fat old owl. "Always keep your paw in front of your mouth when you yawn," hooted the owl. "Rabbits never do that," said the sleepy little rabbit. "Silly rabbit," said the owl, and he flew away, the little rabbit just calling after him. But when the little rabbit opened his mouth to speak, the bumblebee had curled up to sleep in his throat, and all he could do was whisper. "What shall I do?" he whispered to Squirrel, who wasn't sleepy. "Wake him up," said the squirrel. "Wake up the bumblebee." "How?" whispered the rabbit. "All I can do is whisper, and I'm sleepy, and I want to go to sleep. And who can sleep with the bumblebee?" Suddenly a wise old groundhog popped out of the ground. "All I can do is whisper," said the little rabbit. "All the better," said the groundhog. "Come here, little rabbit," he said, "and I will whisper to you how to wake the bumblebee. You have to make the littlest noise that you can possibly make, because Bumblebee doesn't bother about big noises. He is very little bumblebee. He is only interested in little voices." "Like a loud whisper?" asked Rabbit. "Too loud," said the groundhog, and popped back into his hole. "A little noise," whispered the rabbit, and he started making the little rabbit noises. He made a noise as quiet as the sound of a bird's wing cutting the air, but the bee didn't wake up. So the little rabbit made the sound of snow falling, but the bee didn't wake up. So the little rabbit made the sound of a bug breathing and a fly sneezing and grass rustling and a fireman thinking. Still the bee didn't wake up. So the rabbit sat and thought of all the little sounds he could think of. What could they be? A sound quiet as snow melting, quiet as flower growing, quiet as an egg, quiet as, and suddenly the little noise that he would make, and he made it. It was like a little chick made 100 miles away by a bumblebee in an apple tree in full bloom on the mountain top. It was the very small click of a bee swallowing some honey from an apple blossom. And at that the bee woke up. He thought he was missing something, and away he flew. Then what did the little rabbit do? That sleepy, sleepy little rabbit? He closed his mouth, he closed his eyes, he closed his ears, and he tucked his paws and twitched his nose, and he went sound asleep. And there's a little rabbit poem. Nobody knows a rabbit's nose, the way it twitches, the way it goes, constantly on his face. Nobody knows a rabbit's ears, the way he listens and what he hears, and his sad little rabbit tears. Nobody knows a rabbit's eyes, red as rubies without surprise. in his square fur face. All the pretty little horses, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleepy little baby. When you wake, you shall have all the pretty little horses. Black and bay, dapple and gray, all the pretty little horses. Mother loves you, Daddy loves you, everybody loves baby. The butterflies and the flies are buzzing round your eyes, so go to sleepy little baby. And after your sleep, I'll give you a Jeep. All right, my Selah children. Good. Have a good day, a good night, a good morning. And when you feel sleepy, you take a rest because you're going to wake up more refreshed and more full of energy and happier for mommy and daddy and grandma and grandpa or whoever you're staying with, okay? So I love you guys and goodbye until next time.